Hello there. Let's talk about Afcon 2023. So, I decided to follow up the competition right up from the beginning and watch every match closely to be able to draw life lessons and business slash work ethic lessons from each country's performance. And I came up with quite a number of things. Welcome to Dreams to Dollars with Dinta. On today's episode, we're going to be drawing life lessons, work slash business ethic lessons from every country's performance in the Afcon 2023 competition. Since charity begins at home, let's talk about the indomitable lions of Cameroon. I don't know if I should be laughing or I should be crying or I really don't know, but what is for sure is that there are lessons that we could draw from this team's performance. I'm definitely not like a football professional or analyst or critic, but I think it was obvious everybody saw it. They had a unique game plan, a unique strategy that was completely ineffective, but somehow they stuck to it. I mean, the game was like get the ball to the flanks, cross, and then hope for the best. And they kept doing this over and over and over again. So that really was painful for a citizen and a football fan like myself. But yes, I still had to keep the emotions aside and be able to draw lessons from this particular performance. So the lesson that I would draw from this is that for every task that you have to carry out, be it in your business, be it in your work, it's important a preliminary work is important. You have to plan, you have to analyze the problem that you're faced with, you have to strategize and make sure that you've figured out how to solve it. You figured out a plan of action before you go ahead, at least one that is effective before you go ahead and face the problem. If not, at the end of the day, we'll be working so hard and not so smart. Then finally, everybody's exhausted and no work has been done and everybody feels down and no work has still been done. So that is it. And also, I noticed that not to wash our dirty linen in public, but it was obvious that there were some management internal issues in the team. That also taught me that a psychologically safe environment is very important in every team. For a team to be productive, it needs that the environment of that team should be safe. People should be able to express themselves for a team to be functional and for a team to actually get results done. We move to the Teranga Lions of Senegal. I think that their performance overall was okay. It wasn't so bad for me, but what I could take home from them was that sometimes overconfidence wounds a desire to go in and put effort, because if Senegal is out of the competition is not because they are not capable. I feel like maybe it was an issue of overconfidence that did not permit them to put in as much work as they should have put in. Also, I learned humility from them and the ability to accept defeat, how to deal with failure. Yes, because when they lost, the sportsmanship was really, really outstanding. The way that they acknowledged the capabilities of the other team and they acknowledged that the other team outplayed them. I think that it wasn't just about sportsmanship from Senegal, but it was also an issue of dealing with defeat. So the way that we deal with defeat in life is very, very important. About the elephants of Ivory Coast, that is a big one. Like there's so many lessons to draw from what has been happening to Ivory Coast so far. Like I think initially, despite being facing some sort of humiliation and disappointment in the early stages of the game, given that the games are being played in their country and their performance initially wasn't good enough, they had to rely on the results of another team, on another team's results to qualify for round eight. But guys, what happened to Ivory Coast taught me like a whole lot of things. In life, don't give up. Sometimes it's going to get really stormy and it's like you're continuously being crushed and being crushed and being crushed. But even when everybody's giving up or everybody thinks that you failed, don't give up on yourself. Keep hoping, keep trusting, and then keep working hard. And the stage at which they are in the competition and how much they are giving out, I think it's a total miracle. It's a good definition of what resilience can do. So I think that the summary of the lesson from Ivory Coast is resilience. Concerning the Super Eagles of Nigeria, that is also another good lesson, another good case study. I really love Nigerians because somehow they always come through. They always find a way to make it through, no matter what the circumstances are. And that's something to really admire. I think that in the beginning of the competition, they had like some internal challenges, but and they actually fell short, yes, in the beginning, but later on they didn't let that break them down. Later on they've actually built up that momentum and they're giving what we expected. I think what, yes, we, their fans, because I am a fan of the Super Eagles as well, expected of them. And it's really, really amazing what they have been doing with that. So the lesson that I can draw from the performance of the Super Eagles is that sometimes adversity can fuel our determination. Sometimes the obstacle is the way. When it starts being so hard, you can just follow that path and try to make it work. Like you walk your way, make the best out of the situation. Through that complication, you make your way and then get to it. Defending champions, the Desert Eagles of Algeria, they didn't come to play around, they didn't come to joke. And summarily, I've been impressed with their performance. They definitely deserve to be called champions, but let's wait and see if they are going to retain that championship or another country is going to snatch it from their hands. But what we can learn from their performance is that consistency is very, very important. Maintaining excellence is something that you don't joke with. It's not because you're already up there that you just relax. You keep on putting the work. There's always room for improvement. So Algerians taught us that consistency is really, really important. For the Black Stars of Ghana, they did okay. Yes, they did okay. It wasn't as bad as other situations. But one thing that moved me about them is the synergy in their team, like the unity. They were not just a team, but there was cohesion. They were together. You could actually feel the synergy in their team, and I think that they are an example of um, what we mean when we say that together we can achieve great things. Yes, though they left the competition already, but I think that is something that we can learn from them. So it's good to know that all these countries that I'm talking about are not necessarily still in the competition, but I am a person, I'm big on effort, I'm big on process. So I focus more on the effort that each team put in to draw my lessons and less on the outcomes because I encourage growth through continuous effort, and then I usually salute efforts more than the outcome themselves. So yes. Another set of lions I would love to talk about would be the Atlas Lions of Morocco. Yes, they moved me honestly. I was impressed with their game. They their ability to adapt. Like they adapted their game plan depending on the opponent with which they were faced. And that is just so, so beautiful to me. That ability to be flexible did help them handle the situations better, unlike quite a number of other countries in the tournament. I think that that's what made them outstanding. And the lesson that we can draw from this is simple. It's simple, but it's a big lesson. Adaptability, the ability to get comfortable in unfamiliar situations. Like, yes, it's no longer in your comfort zone, but you can find a way to get through. Please subscribe, like, and leave a comments. Let me know what you think about the performance of each country and any other lessons that you think we could draw from their performance. Perhaps I missed some lessons, but let's just share the toughest I would say most painful lesson that I learned from this tournament would be from the situation and the performance of the Scorpions of Gambia. Like their performance and the entire situation just taught me that sometimes in life things are going to go wrong. You're going to put in hard work, you're going to plan, you're going to use wisdom, you're going to use time management, you're going to use basically all the good skills you have or you know how to. You're going to pray, but things are going to go wrong and you will have to survive those days. Starting from the issues with the training stadia, to the malfunctioning of the airplane, to how much they gave. I mean, the fighting spirit they brought to the game. You saw them play against Cameroon, and these were people who were determined to win, but they lost. They were kicked out of the competition in that particular game against Cameroon. So, though their situation felt really bad, life sometimes is unfair like that. Life sometimes is unfair like that, and you're going to have to survive those days. So, that is a lesson that I could draw from the Gambia. We'll keep watching really, really closely to pick up lessons from each country's performance, because at the end of the day, football is not just a form of entertainment, but I try to look at it like people doing their job, people working in teams in their job, people doing their business. So when I look at it like that, I can then draw lessons that are useful to um, my YouTube subscribers. And that was it on today's episode of Dreams to Dollars with Denzel. Please come back for more contents like this and stay blessed.